Hey everybody, my name is Breanna Rutter, and in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you my tragic story on how I lost my edges. And then it ends off beautifully because I'm gonna tell you how I grew them back. So, as a lot of you know, I'm a hair influencer, which means that I tend to try a lot of hairstyles on my hair. And because of this puts a lot of stress on my hair as well as on my hairline. Now, since I lost my edges from just manipulating my hair too frequently, that's called mechanical alopecia. This means that you're physically manipulating your hair at a rate that will cause your hair to break. Now, this is different from an illness or actually having areata alopecia, to where your immune system attacks your hair follicles and causes your hair to fall out. It can fall out in random patches, in patterns, or specifically on your edges for a lot of women. Now, these tips that I'm going to share does help you if you do have areata alopecia. But for a lot of you who may have lost your edges because you just kept styling your hair too frequently, or you kept trying new techniques, or simply because your edges were fragile in the first place, I'm going to share with you 10 very specific things that I did to grow back my edges. And you can do a combination of all of these or a few of them, and you will definitely see improvements with your hairline. Number one, the first thing that I did to grow back my edges is I stopped wearing all forms of lace closures, lace frontals, and lace wigs. As soon as I started wearing frontals, no matter how I wore it, whether it was glueless, whether I actually applied glue to it or used hair gel, I noticed that it was causing my edges to get weaker over time, and I noticed that it was also making it thinner every time I would do a new install. So for me, personally speaking, I knew this was the main culprit as to why my edges was actually thinning and falling out. And I knew I had to do something quick to make sure that I didn't suffer any permanent damage, so that way I can grow back my full edges. I went through a stint of time for about 2 to 3 months where I was actually experimenting a lot with putting on lace closures, lace wigs, and experimenting with the whole lace world. And that caused a lot of issues on my edges. Number one, because I had to use very strong hair gel or hair glue to keep the lace bound down to my hairline. Now, a lot of you women actually like to do the glueless method, which is totally fine if you want to do a glueless method on your hair, because then that helps you to not have as much friction on your hairline. But still, if you have very thin edges or you lost your edges at one point in time and you're trying to grow it back, I would highly suggest that you just take a really good pause for about 2 to 3 months from wearing any forms of lace. The second thing that I did is I stopped washing my hair once a week. For a total of 3 months, I washed my hair once each month. Now, typically speaking, I normally wash my hair once a week because I notice that I have the best hair health and the best scalp health, which means that 4 times a month times 3 months will be 12 shampoo washes in that time frame. So instead of 12 shampoo washes, I only did 3 shampoo washes. And as soon as I started noticing results with my edges, I went back to shampoo washing my hair once a week. And when I wash my hair once a month, I only use this shampoo. This is the same shampoo that I use when I actually wash out my relaxer. And I also use another shampoo called Isoplus because it's color activator for relaxer. But in the case of just washing my hair, I didn't relax it or anything. I just used this for that total of 3 months by washing my hair with this once a month. You can choose to use any shampoo you want, but specifically you want to use a shampoo that actually chelates the hair. This means that it strips any mineral buildup or product buildup from your hair strands. This means that you don't want to go for a sulfate-free shampoo. You want to go for shampoos that may contain sulfates or that may be more stripping in nature. Now, I know a lot of people are watching this like, oh my God, did she just suggest that we put harsh shampoo on our hair? Yes, especially if you're trying to restore the health of your hair. You want to strip your hair of any product buildup or any mineral buildup from hard water. So that way it's very easy for moisture to penetrate into your scalp and into your hairline so that you can grow your edges back. The third thing that I did to grow back my edges is I use edge growth oil every other day. The routine I did when I was using the edge growth oil is I actually put edge growth oil on my hair and then I would skip a day. So this means day 1, I would put it on my hairline, I would massage it in. Day 2, I would skip. Day 3, I would do the same process, put a little bit on and massage in my hairline. And day 4, I would skip. The reason why I would skip every other day is because for this specific time frame of 3 months, I was only washing my hair, such as shampoo washing, once a month. And I didn't want to have so much oil built up on my scalp. So I would skip every other day, so that way I can not only help to grow in my edges, but also to limit the frequency of how often I washed my hair as well. When looking for an edge growth oil to grow back your edges, there are 2 very important ingredients you want to make sure is in your edge growth oil. Number 1 is castor oil, and number 2 is sage essential oil. These 2 oils have been scientifically proven to increase the growth phase of your hair and to keep your hair in the growth phase for a longer period of time. Your hair goes through 3 different phases, and each hair follicle is on a different schedule. Different hairs on your head will grow, rest, or fall out at random times. So that way you have an evenly dispersed fallout, growing phase, and resting phase in your hair so that you don't lose all of your hair at once. Because if all of your hair follicles were in the exact same phase on your head, you would literally go bald every couple of years. So thank God that our growth cycle is different for each follicle. The 4th thing that I did was I actually only styled my hair once a month. Now, I know that's crazy because literally styling my hair once a month is the equivalent of barely uploading content. And I know you guys were so frustrated, like,
where's your new videos? We're waiting.
I had to focus on myself. I had to focus on making sure that I can grow back my edges successfully because I did not want to suffer any permanent damage on my hairline. Now, this was also a convenient time for me to actually work on a secret project behind the scenes. So if any of you want to know any details on what that project was and how you can be involved, go to my Instagram at Breanna Rutter and send me a DM and just simply ask me what's up with the secret project. So I made sure to take this time of about 3 months to focus on growing my hair by only styling my hair once a month. So when I styled my hair once a month, I would wear box braids, or I would actually slick my hair back with like 2 large braids or ponytail and wear clip-ins in my hair. And during this time frame of 3 months of growing my edges back, I did not touch a drop of relaxer because I wanted to make sure that I wasn't causing any further damage to my hair. So when I would style my edges once a month, I would just make sure not to put my hair up or down too frequently. So if I wanted to wear my hair up into a ponytail, I would leave it in a ponytail for about a couple days to a week. Or if I wanted to wear my hair down, I would leave it down and not constantly comb it up, comb it down, brush it up, brush it down. Because I wanted to make sure that I had as little or as infrequent amount of manipulation on my hair as possible. This is key. If y'all want the key, this is key. Stop touching your hair. You have to leave it alone. Put some edge growth oil on it. Put some braids in your hair. Slick it down if you do have some areas, but don't comb and brush and do all these crazy techniques to your hairline. You have to let your hair alone, and you have to not manipulate it so much if you want your edges to grow back. The 5th thing that I did is I stopped wearing bonnets to bed, and I stopped wearing scarves to bed. Y'all heard me right. I did not wear a silk scarf to bed, nor did I wear a satin scarf. So yes, I just broke the cardinal rule when it comes to sleeping in your hair and growing your edges back. And this is because I came up with a little theory, I said, instead of me putting the scarf on my head, because it always slips off when I wake up, how about I tie the scarf on my pillow? So that's exactly what I did. I took my huge silk scarf and I just tied it around my pillowcase. I would rather not have anything tying my hair down or suffocating my hair or rubbing against my hair. So I'd rather just lay on the pillow at night. So if you do want to wear a satin scarf, that's totally fine. I just didn't want to have the satin scarf slipping off and constantly trying to readjust it in the middle of my sleep, and then to also sleep on a pillowcase. So it's up to you if you want to tie a scarf around your pillow or if you want to wear a satin or silk scarf on your head. Now, when it comes to a bonnet, the inside stretchy material is not the best material to be on your hairline, because as you're moving and tossing and turning, it's going to constantly rub, and that's going to cause further breakage, and you don't want any more breakage because you're trying to grow back your edges. The sixth thing that I did to grow back my edges is that when I shampoo wash my hair once a month, I will use a clarifying shampoo. Now, there's only certain circumstances that you want to use a clarifying shampoo, because this type of shampoo can strip your hair of moisture. You want to use it if you want to make sure to strip your hair of any product buildup, and to also strip your hair of mineral buildup, which is usually the result of washing your hair with hard water. So what I did is I would lather up a lot of shampoo and just go to town on my scalp and my hair, making sure to be very gentle around my hairline. So it's almost like I would wash my whole head, and then I would do my second wash just focusing on lightly massaging this area, so that way I'm not causing too much friction. You can use any type of clarifying shampoo that you want, but this is an absolute must if you want to be sure that when you moisturize your hair, your product is actually penetrating your follicles. So I highly suggest that when you're growing your edges back, or just focus on making your hair more healthy, you use a clarifying shampoo in your regimen. The seventh thing that I did to grow back my edges is I deep conditioned my hair once a week. I did not shampoo wash. Remember, I only shampoo wash once a month. So every single week, I made sure to deep condition my hair, whether my hair was loose or whether it was styled in box braids. The process I did for deep conditioning my hair is I literally filled 2 huge handfuls with conditioner, and then I spread it all over my hair, and I put my hair into a plastic bag, and then I just did some things that I needed to catch up on for about an hour, so that way I can pass the time and then rinse out the conditioner from my hair. This is very important because if your hair is very elastic and very moisturized, it will stop your edges from breaking. The biggest thing with having your edges constantly break off or grow in very thin is the issue of doing mechanical manipulation with styles or styling your hair with your hands, and from also not having moisturized hair. So to be very aggressive in growing back your edges, you want to be sure that you're deep conditioning your hair at least once a week. Doing it more than once a week is not as necessary, but it truly depends on you if you're seeing great results with doing so. But what I did for that span of 3 months is I deep conditioned my hair once a week, no matter if it was in a style or not. And then once a month, I shampoo washed my hair. After rinsing out the deep conditioner, if my hair was in braids, I would just allow my hair to air dry. Now, if my hair was loose, I would actually do a blow drying process, being that I'm relaxed and I haven't relaxed my actual roots in a while. So I wanted to make sure that I was allowing my roots to be stretched with heat just very slightly, so that way I wouldn't have any issue with my roots tangling up on my straight hair, causing breakage. The eighth thing that I did to grow back my edges is I actually used the deep conditioner as a leave-in conditioner. So I did not do this for all of my hair. I would rinse out the deep conditioner when I would actually do my hybrid co-wash, and then I would take a little bit of the deep conditioner and just smooth it on my hairline. Now, deep conditioners are a pretty heavy product, which means that it can cause product buildup if you use it regularly as a leave-in. That's why using a deep conditioner as a leave-in is not the best way to use that product. If you're finding yourself needing to constantly put deep conditioner in your hair during the week or during the month, then that means that you need to do more oil treatments or deep conditioning treatments, because obviously your hair keeps getting dry. But in my instance, I just wanted to make sure that I gave my edges extra protection. So after rinsing out the deep conditioner, I would get a little bit of the deep conditioner and then I would smooth it around my hairline. Now, the ninth thing that I did is very controversial. Y'all ready? I trimmed my edges. I know, right? Crazy, ridiculous. Y'all probably thinking, just forget about her. How dare she trim her edges? I had to, and you might have to trim your edges as well. Now, do you need to shave your edges bald? No. Some girls have done that and have had great results, but I did not want to shave my edges. But if you're having breakage with your edges because of thinning or any other issues, you're going to have split ends on the very edges of your hair. Did you not know that? That means that you want to do a method called search and destroy. So you're going to use your scissors and you're going to gently use your fingers and you're going to smooth through different areas of your hair. And you're going to look very closely in the mirror to see, do you have any split ends or tapering ends? A split end would be your hair follicle growing and then splitting off into two parts or multiple parts at the very top of the follicle. So if you notice one follicle comes up and then splits like a tree, that's a split end. If you notice that your follicle grows and then it gets thinner and thinner and thinner, that's a tapered end. You want to make sure to cut those two specific types of damage off of your edges. So you do not have to hold your edges out and just go hacking away and chopping away. You want to do the search and destroy method, which is what I did. And literally within the first month, I was listen, at first I was scared to do this. I was thinking, how idiotic to cut your edges when you're trying to grow them back. But that's what you have to do to stop the hair from breaking. The hair on your head is going to continue to grow pretty much regardless of what you do. But if you're noticing you're not seeing any growth, that's because as the hair grows out, it keeps breaking. Then it grows out again, it keeps breaking. This means that it looks like you're having stunted growth in different areas of your head. So you want to make sure to go in a little closer, do the search and destroy method, and cut off any damage you see on your edges. Now, I was scared to do this at first. So after about halfway through the month, I said, you know what, I have to do this if I want to see change, and I gotta share my story. You know, I'm gonna come out as a survivor. So after I trimmed it, I literally started immediately seeing growth, and I was really happy about that. So don't be scared to trim the very, very teeny bits of your edge hairs to make sure that you're stopping breakage. Because if it has any split ends or any fairy knots or any tapered ends on your hairline, it's going to continue to break off as it grows because the entire follicle needs to be healthy. You cannot retain length if your ends are damaged. So keep that in mind. Dun dun dun. Number 10, the 10th thing that I did to grow back my edges was I strictly followed a 30-day hair care regimen. And I repeated this regimen every single month for a total of 3 months. So that way I can grow back my edges. So really quickly, I'm going to go through the steps that I did leading up to repeating the entire 30-day cycle for 3 months. If you want a screenshot or screen capture of my exact regimen, check it out in the description. So that way you can refer to it when you're doing your hair growth journey or if you want to specifically focus on growing back your edges. So inside of the 30-day regimen, we're gonna start off with day number 1. On day 1 of your 30-day regimen cycle, you are going to shampoo wash your hair with a clarifying shampoo. Then you're going to deep condition your hair for an entire hour, whether your hair is in braids or it's loose. And then when you rinse out your deep conditioner, you're going to pick up a little bit more deep conditioner and you're going to smooth that on your edges. And then after your hair has air dried, you are then going to do the search and destroy method, which means you are going to gently smooth out your edges and trim off any breakage at the ends of your edges that you see. If you don't have any edges, of course, you have to skip this step. But if you have some still hanging on to dear life, you still want to do the search and destroy method. And then after your hair has been trimmed, the last thing you're going to do is you're going to make sure to put some edge growth oil on your hairline and your hair. You're going to massage it in very gently for at least 5 to 10 minutes. So that way it's penetrated through your skin and through your hair. So you're giving your edges the best chance to grow. So you're going to do all these steps on day 1. Day 2 of your 30-day regimen is the day that you want to style your hair if you're going to do styling. So that means if you're gonna wear your hair in braids, updo, if you're gonna wear it down, or even if you're gonna wear a wig, which I don't suggest, but if you're going to style your hair in any style, I highly suggest that you do large braids. So that way you have zero tension on your hairline. And when you install your hair, you want to make sure that you put a little bit of deep conditioner on the edges of your hair, just a little bit. And then you also want to massage your hairline and your edges with edge growth oil. So this is on day 2 of your 30-day cycle. And to make day 2 easy, you want to do day 1 treatment the night before so that on day 2 you can style your hair. After styling your hair on day 2, if you do have edges that can be styled, you can put a little bit of edge control to slick them down if you desire that look. But when you slick them down, do not use a brush, do not use a comb. Only use your fingers so that it's very gentle on your hairline. Day 7 of your 30-day regimen cycle, you are going to co-wash your hair, and I call this a hybrid co-wash because you're practically deep conditioning your hair and then rinsing out the conditioner without shampooing your hair. And you're going to get a little bit more conditioner, smooth it on your hairline after you rinse out your hair. Whether you have braids or loose hair, it doesn't matter. You have to deep condition your hair to make sure your hair is moisturized and healthy. That means that you're going to leave the conditioner on for an hour, you're going to rinse it out, you're going to get a little bit more conditioner from your bottle, and you're going to lightly smooth it on your edges. Your hair is going to air dry or blow dry. And then you're going to put a little bit of oil on your hairline and hair, and you're going to massage it in so that way you're using those essential oils to help you speed up the growth phase of your hair. On day 14 of your 30-day cycle, you're going to do the same thing you did on day 7 because every week you need to deep condition treat your hair. But once a month, you need to shampoo wash your hair. On day 30, the entire cycle begins. The only difference this time is that you can do the search and destroy method if you want to, but it's not essential. I did the search and destroy method for the first 2 months, but for the 3rd month, I noticed that I didn't need to do it anymore, and that allowed my edges to grow in beautifully. So don't be afraid to trim the very, very small amounts of hair on the ends of your edges if you still have some edges intact. If you don't, then you don't want to do this. Now, if you don't have any edges and you feel like you have nothing to lose, then maybe shaving your head can help you to see more consistent results as it grows in. But I don't suggest it. You can if you want to, but that's not what I did. Some women have shaved their hairline before and they've had great results, but I highly suggest that you do the search and destroy method so that you're keeping and maintaining as much edges as you still have so that it can continue to grow and thrive. Thank y'all so much for watching. If you want to see any other types of tutorials, let me know down in the comments. And if you want to see how I style and care for my hair in between doing different braids and things like that, then I'll definitely show you all if those are the type of videos you want to see. Until then, I'll catch y'all next time. Bye-bye.